What makes a nation truly happy? Is it wealth, opportunity, freedom, or something deeper that cannot be measured in dollars alone? For decades, governments and economists focused on economic growth as the ultimate measure of success. Yet across the world, a fascinating reality has emerged. Some nations with modest incomes consistently report higher levels of happiness than countries far richer than themselves. In this presentation, we explore the findings of the World Happiness Report and uncover the hidden forces that shape well-being across societies. We'll examine why certain nations thrive, why others struggle, and what lessons humanity can learn from the world's happiest places. Because the pursuit of happiness is not merely a personal journey, it is also a collective achievement shaped by culture, institutions, trust, and community. Welcome to The Pursuit of Joy: Why Some Nations Thrive While Others Wither. The latest global happiness rankings reveal a striking pattern. For the 9th consecutive year, Finland claims the #1 position as the happiest nation on earth. Close behind are Denmark, Iceland, Sweden, and the Netherlands, countries that have become synonymous with quality of life and social stability. But perhaps the biggest surprise is the emergence of Costa Rica and Mexico among the world's top 10 happiest nations. Their appearance challenges the assumption that happiness belongs exclusively to wealthy European countries. These rankings suggest that while economic prosperity matters, it is not the sole ingredient of well-being. A new global map of happiness is taking shape, one where social connection, trust, and life satisfaction can outweigh sheer economic power. The question is no longer who is richest. The question is who has learned how to live well. Researchers have identified 6 key pillars that explain most differences in happiness between nations. The first is GDP per capita. Wealth provides access to opportunities, healthcare, education, and security. Yet wealth alone does not guarantee happiness. The second is social support, the confidence that someone will be there when life becomes difficult. This is one of the strongest predictors of well-being worldwide. Third is healthy life expectancy. Longer, healthier lives give people more opportunities to pursue meaningful goals and relationships. Fourth is freedom of choice. People who feel in control of their lives tend to report greater satisfaction and happiness. Fifth is generosity. Acts of kindness benefit both the receiver and the giver, strengthening communities and social bonds. And finally, low corruption. Trustworthy institutions create stability, fairness, and confidence in the future. Together, these 6 pillars explain roughly 3/4 of the variation in happiness across nations. In other words, happiness is not random, it is built. Why do Nordic countries consistently dominate the happiness rankings? The answer lies in a powerful combination of trust, equality, and social support. Citizens benefit from universal health care, ensuring that illness does not become a financial catastrophe. Education is widely accessible, creating opportunity regardless of background. Government institutions enjoy exceptionally high levels of public trust, while corruption remains among the lowest in the world. These societies also maintain strong connections to nature. Forests, lakes, and outdoor recreation are woven into everyday life, providing balance and psychological well-being. Perhaps most importantly, Nordic cultures place a high value on work-life balance. Success is not measured solely by productivity, but also by quality of life. The result is a society where people feel secure, supported, and empowered. In Finland, happiness is not about having everything. It is about knowing that what you have is enough. Common wisdom tells us that more money leads to more, but the data tells a more nuanced story. As income rises, happiness generally increases, but only up to a point. Research suggests that beyond roughly $75,000 in annual income, additional earnings provide diminishing returns to daily well-being. This explains why countries such as Costa Rica can outperform much wealthier nations in happiness rankings. Despite having a fraction of the income of countries like Qatar or Singapore, Costa Rica ranks among the happiest places on earth. Why? Because social bonds, personal freedom, community engagement, and quality of life often matter more than endless economic growth. Money can solve many problems, but once basic needs are met, human connection becomes a far more powerful source of joy. The happiest nations understand a simple truth. Life satisfaction cannot be purchased indefinitely. National wealth tells only part of the story. Equally important is how happiness is distributed throughout society. In countries with high levels of inequality, people often experience greater distrust, social tension, and feelings of exclusion. Even when the economy grows, many citizens may feel left behind. By contrast, high trust societies with more equal opportunities tend to distribute well-being more evenly across the population. This creates stronger communities and greater overall satisfaction. Researchers increasingly argue that happiness inequality, the gap between the happiest and least happy citizens, may be just as important as income inequality. A nation cannot truly flourish if prosperity benefits only a few. The healthiest societies are not simply wealthier. They are societies where more people have a genuine chance to live fulfilling lives. Imagine living in a society where you trust your neighbors, your institutions, and even strangers. In countries like Denmark and Finland, this is remarkably common. Trust functions as an invisible currency that strengthens every aspect of life. People feel safer. Communities become more cooperative. Businesses operate more efficiently, and governments are viewed as legitimate and fair. When citizens trust institutions, corruption declines and social cohesion grows. The importance of trust became especially visible during crises such as the COVID-19 pandemic. High trust societies often recovered more quickly, not just economically, but emotionally and socially as well. Trust creates resilience. It enables people to work together, solve problems collectively, and face uncertainty with confidence. While wealth may build infrastructure, trust builds society itself. And without trust, even prosperous nations can struggle to maintain happiness. Happiness is not only about economics, it is also about meaning. Every culture teaches its citizens what matters most. Some emphasize status, competition, and achievement. Others prioritize family, community, and belonging. When success becomes the sole measure of worth, people may achieve more while feeling less fulfilled. Long working hours, social pressure, and relentless expectations can gradually erode well-being. By contrast, societies that value relationships, authenticity, and shared experiences often cultivate deeper satisfaction. The happiest lives are rarely built on income alone. They are built on purpose, on freedom of expression, on meaningful relationships, and on the feeling that one's life matters beyond professional success. Culture shapes not only what people pursue, but also what they believe is worth pursuing in the first place. At the bottom of the happiness rankings lies a stark and sobering reality. Countries such as Afghanistan, Sierra Leone, Lebanon, and Malawi face challenges that go far beyond economics. War, political instability, corruption, poverty, weak institutions, and limited access to essential services. These conditions create daily uncertainty and undermine people's ability to build secure and hopeful futures. When conflict becomes chronic and institutions fail, happiness does not merely decline, it can disappear altogether. The nations at the bottom of the rankings remind us that well-being depends on far more than individual choices. Peace, stability, freedom, and effective governance are fundamental foundations of human flourishing. Without them, happiness becomes extraordinarily difficult to sustain. As we conclude this journey through the world's happiness landscape, a clear pattern emerges. The happiest nations are not necessarily the richest. They are the nations that have built systems supporting human well-being. They invest in social safety nets. They foster trust. They create opportunities for meaningful lives. They reduce corruption, and they recognize that happiness is not an accident. It is the result of deliberate choices. The evidence is overwhelming. Income matters, but only as a foundation. Community matters more. Trust matters more. Purpose matters more. The pursuit of joy is not a mystery. It is a blueprint. And the remarkable lesson from the world's happiest societies is that happiness can be designed, nurtured, and shared. The future of human flourishing is not predetermined. Nations can choose it, and perhaps so can we.